Well, good afternoon, anti-federal education warriors. It's Lynn Taylor here, Common Core Diva. It is a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I do have an interview coming up in just a little bit with Bradley Dean on Sons of Liberty Radio, but I wanted to give a shout out to one of my dear followers and warriors, Jennifer. She posted this morning that the Federal Registry has a new opportunity for we the people to speak out about some education overreaches that are being planned by the U.S. Department of Education. And on the Federal Registry, now this was published originally on July the 1st. Comments are needed, and the deadline for that is July 31st of this year. And what it is in relation to is the Cares Act. And if you'll remember, I've done a lot of reporting on the Cares Act and what it will do in education. But what we're seeing now is that it's overreaching into non-public education, or it can be the private schools, the home schools, anywhere that's not in the, public school arena. So this might even pull in your virtual school students. But the whole point of it is they're calling it the equitable services to students and teachers in non-public schools. So if you're a homeschooling family, for example, this would mean your entire family. And basically what the Department of Education wants to do with this particular amount of CARES money is give it to your LEAs, your local education agencies, and through other community-based programs to offer wraparound services, which I've reported on quite a bit about how intrusive these are and how many of them will give you what the federal government calls their idea of what a family outcome or a student outcome should be. And that's the danger, is anytime the federal government uses the word outcome in relation to people, it means their prescription for how you should be, what you should become, not for you to be able to be free enough to say, hey, I want to, choose to live this way, or I'd like to go learn this. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what this particular set of rules that the U.S. Department of Education is currently wanting to implement. It does not say that it doesn't say that it's permanent. It does use the word interim, but we need to be careful because we know, as unconstitutional as our U.S. Department of Education is, anytime that Betsy DeVos can get any kind of rules to change and stick, that's usually what happens. Now, I will be able to post the link to the Federal Registry document in the comments, but I can't do that right now while I am, well, let me see, maybe I can post it right now. Oh, yes, I can. Awesome. So here, I'm posting it for you right now. So there you can go, and you can absolutely log on and fire away. Tell the U.S. Department of Education why this is not a good thing for them to do at all. I mean, it's unconstitutional. It also usurps the rights of the family to be raised or to educate in the way that they would want to do. For your private schools, it's going to mean that they have to adhere to a lot of things that maybe they weren't previously adhering to. So we really, really need to be careful. Again, that is the Federal Registry. I've linked the document for you. Comments are due before July 31st of this year. And to give you an idea of what I said, first of all, I pointed out how unconstitutional every bit of this is and how it was not the government's job to raise families or to give services that were through schools that were not educated related, which is a lot of what these wraparound services are, because they overreach into things that are frankly none of the Department of Education's business. So again, you've got the government doing its best to set up a nanny state itis in your community, and we've got to fight back. Even if this does go through, as we know that our government usually, forces things like this to go through, registering your public dissent is a good citizen act. And it's something that we should do because, if our voices aren't heard, let's say you feel very strongly in opposition to this particular nanny state-itis like I do, then you need to let your voice be heard. You need to be letting your representatives know that you're against this sort of thing. Because first of all, the CARES Act is going to ruin our economy, because it's going to take so much of our taxpayer money that we don't have, and it's going to use our tax dollars against us for services that are, quite frankly, not the federal government's business. So again, we're seeing the Department of Education, which is unconstitutional, try to come up with rules to make more alignment. And a lot of these mandates and wraparound services and changes in funding that happened were not just through the CARES Act, but the Every Student Succeeds Act as well. And you know that I've given you all kinds of information on that as well. Anita Hogue has warned us about these wraparound services and how the shift in the Title I funding went from per pupil need to whole school need for exactly this kind of thing. So just a heads up, if you want to find the website address, it is in the comments. It's also federalregistry.gov/documents 2020-0701-2020, and it's titled the CARES Act Programs for Equitable Services to Students and Teachers in Non-Public Schools. Okay, take care. Listen out for me this afternoon on Sons of Liberty with Bradley, and then in the morning I'll be on Sons of Liberty with Tim, and we'll be going over the recent South Dakota speech and how Trump's education comments are very, very concerning, and not for what the propaganda has spun it to be. All right, guys, take care and comment away about how we don't need the U.S. Department of Education in non-public education or homeschools. Thank you.